Hi everyone, have you ever looked at your hair and asked this question? Why is it that I moisturized my hair yesterday and today it feels dry? I have been in that situation where I moisturize my hair today and by tomorrow my hair is already dry. Or maybe you have spent hundreds of dollars on leave-in, oils, butters, deep conditioners, and yet your hair still feels dry, brittle, and difficult to manage. Then you need to watch this video until the very end because the problem may not be lack of moisture at all. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes that many people make on their hair growth journey is constantly adding more moisture to their hair, and actually their hair is not lacking moisture. The very thing that you think is helping your hair to grow could actually be creating buildup, preventing moisture from entering the strands, increasing breakage, and making your hair appear dry all the time. So today we are going to talk about what I call the moisture illusion, a hidden problem that tricks many people into believing that their hair needs more products when what it actually needs is something totally different. So by the end of this video, you will to learn one, why is it your hair still looks dry after moisturizing? Two, how buildup discusses itself as dryness. 3. What science says about moisture retention. 4. Why some hair routines actually are slowing your progress instead of helping. And number 5, how to restore true hydration and improve length retention. So let's get straight into it. First, to understand this, we need first to understand how actually hair holds moisture. That is the beginning point. Hair strands are primarily made of a protein called keratin. I think we all know about that. And the outer layer of your hair is known as the cuticle. Now, when moisture enters the hair strands, some of it is retained inside the hair fiber. Then hair doesn't, stay wet permanently. At some point, it will dry. But now, instead, it maintains a balance between absorbing and releasing water. Okay, let me repeat that point very clearly. Healthy hair does not stay permanently wet. Instead, it maintains a balance between absorbing and releasing water. According to hair science research, water is actually the primary source of moisture for hair, not oil. I know some of you, we oil our hair and we think that we have moisturized our hair. No, let me say this. Water moistures, oil does not moisture. What oil does, it helps to slow down the water loss, but oil itself, it does not moisture. This distinction changes everything because many people apply oil expecting hydration, but if water is not entering your strands effectively, then oil alone cannot solve your dryness. Now, let's talk about the real issue, buildup. Yeah, buildup occurs when layers of products accumulate on the hair and the scalp over time. Sources of buildup, for example, it can be gel, it can be heavy oils, it can be butters, it can be styling creams, it can be your head controls, it can be hard mineral water, it can also be environmental pollutants. So, initially, buildup is not noticeable. In fact, your hair may actually feel smooth. When you apply your product, your hair still feels smooth. But as the layer increases, something happens. Now the buildup begins forming a barrier around the hair strands. Now imagine of this, you are trying to water a plant. Now I want you to think of this. You are trying to water a plant while you are wrapping a plastic paper around its roots. What will happen? That water you are trying to water will not enter where it needs to go. And that's the same thing with your hair. Water struggles to penetrate effectively if you have some buildup. And so when the water is struggling, that means that your hair starts feeling dry. Then your response is by adding more products. Now by adding more products, now it gets even worse. The product as you continue using more products, the buildup continues. So in the process, the buildup gets worse and the cycle continues like that. And now this is what we call the moisture illusion. Your hair appears like dusty, but the barrier you have created is preventing proper hydration. Are we together up to that point? You might be wondering, like, what does this have to do with hair growth? Like what I'm talking about, what does it have to do with my hair growth? What does it have to do with your hair growth? Now, hair growth starts at the scalp. I keep saying this every now and then, but when people talk about hair growth, they are usually talking about length retention, because you cannot see growth if you are not retaining length. So your hair may be growing, but you are not seeing length, and the reality is your hair is growing from your scalp. But if now your ends they keep breaking, that means that you are not seeing any growth. Now this is where the moisture and the hair growth is coming into place. Now if your hair is not well moisturized, it means that it is dry, and dryness increases knots, increases tangles, increases split ends, and also increases breakage. I think those are 4: knots, breakage, split ends, and tangles. Yeah, that's what dryness increases. And so now buildup can contribute to these issues by interfering with your healthy moisture balance. Now the result is you retain less length because of the breakage. So even though your hair is growing, you are not seeing the progress. This is why some people feel stuck at the same length for years. And this is actually, it is not a growth problem. It is a length retention problem. So I want to give you 7 signs that you might be dealing with what I'm calling moisture illusion. Sign number 1 is your hair feels dry immediately after moisturizing. Sign number 2 is you keep adding products but never see improvement. Sign number 3 is water bends up on your hair instead of soaking in. Sign number 4 is your curls appear dull or lifeless. Sign number 5 is your hair feels coated. Sign number 6 is your scalp feels itchy immediately after wash day. And then sign number 6 might be your product seems to stop working. And here is where many people now start changing products because they think the product that I am using is not working. But the problem is the issue that has already accumulated underneath. Okay, now how do we fix this problem? That is the question. How do you fix that problem? Very simple. Start with shampoo, that is, use a clarifying shampoo when you are washing your hair, because clarifying shampoos are designed to remove the stubborn buildup. Many people are afraid of clarifying because they think it will dry their hair. But if you realize that you have a problem with product buildup, start by clarifying your hair. Use a clarifying shampoo to shampoo your hair. Step number 2 is focus on water first. Hey, what do I mean by this? Remember, water is the primary moisturizer. Make sure your hair is properly hydrated before sealing with heavy products. So water is the main thing. Number 3, simplify your routine. More products do not automatically mean healthy hair. I want you to unlearn that. More products does not mean healthy hair. Sometimes few products actually produce better results. Another step I don't know step what, but ensure that you wash your hair consistently. Don't let your hair stay for so long without washing it. Clean hair generally receives moisture more effectively than heavily coated hair. So try your best to ensure that your hair is clean and also your scalp is clean. Another step is pay attention to the results that you are seeing. Now, ensure that you observe your hair. See how is this hair becoming softer? How is the breakage becoming less? Is my hair becoming, more manageable? Like, be able to notice some things about your hair. Like, that information matters a lot, especially if you are on a hair growth journey. So, to conclude all that, I will say, if there's one thing I want you to remember from this video is actually this. Like, not all dryness is actually dryness. Sometimes what looks like a moisture problem is actually a buildup problem. And when you keep treating buildup with more products, then you create a cycle that leaves your hair feeling drier and drier over time. The goal is to create an environment where water can actually reach your hair strand. So, ask yourself, is my hair truly lacking moisture, or am experiencing the moisture illusion? That one question could completely transform your hair growth journey. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. If you are on a hair growth journey, we continue learning new things every day. Remember to like the video and also remember to subscribe to my channel too. See you again in my next video.